Awesome to be back in Dowdy Ficklin on Saturday in front of Pirate Nation. And really appreciate Pirate Nation showing up and being loud, and it was really a good feeling. To kind of, our players enjoyed it, I enjoyed it, and just fun to be back in front of everybody. And as I told so many fans and administration and people around the building, it's just we all needed that, we all deserved that, we all needed that, and it was a good win for Pirate Nation. And just appreciate everybody showing up and the support we've had through this whole thing, and even the Pizza Hut drive yesterday. I saw that was a big hit. So appreciate everybody, and thank you to Pirate Nation. So, all right, Steve, did a good job last week, so you can go again this week.
Start off. Obviously, you were going to get the run last week, and to kind of meet those standards, how do you feel like the defense played overall week one?
Yeah, we knew they were a run-heavy football team. They did that against FAMU. Norfolk State did. So going into the game, you knew they had two really good tailbacks and good tight ends. You felt, their O-line was coached really well, and they did some good things. I think the second play of the game there, I believe it was, they popped and run on us for about 16 yards. I think second biggest play of the night there, and kind of got me a little worried there. But after that, I thought we responded very well and did a good job tackling, and just really proud of how hard the kids played and topped off tackles and got 11 hats to the ball, those type of things. So I thought we did a good job there.
Can't do much better than a yard per carry. I think it was less than a yard per carry. What did you feel like was working for you just all night in the run game?
You could do 0 yards per carry or negative. No, I just thought like the kids played hard, and early on, we had a few things game planned up, just kind of hit some things thick, and we're like, hey, no, we got to go back to kind of crossing some old linemen's face. So we did a better job with that as the game went on. So we adjusted some things there, and those angle movements came free and hit some guys in the backfield. And create some tackles for loss. I think we had 17 on the night, which is a huge shout out to our players and our kids, just being really locked into the game plan. I thought they did a really good job of just practicing all week, studying their opponent, knowing what's coming, and then executing the game plan. And it worked out. I had a chance to stop the run and kind of put them in some tough situations and played in our part. So it was nice to see that.
Obviously, you're going to face a little more up-tempo this week,
yeah.
But the good thing is you've been getting a good look at that all summer. How is that transition from a team who slows it down more, runs the ball more, to a team a little more?
It's totally different. We got to practice on Tuesday, and you think, golly, it looks like we haven't seen this all year. So thankfully we do have a team that, our offense runs tempo. So we have seen it in the spring, have seen it in preseason camp, but we got to get Breeze back up to it. It's, after 2 days of working against their offense, I don't feel like we're where we need to be for Saturday night. We still got 3 days of preparation, but we got to have an urgency and intent and a purpose to get lined up. The ball's down, you can't celebrate the last play. Last week, yeah, we had a lot of energy for each other. One of us made a play, we all made a play, had a lot of juice for each other. But this week there won't be time for that. We got to get lined back up, got to get our cleats in the ground, get our feet set, and get ready to play the next call. Because if you don't, you see in the first big touchdown at South Carolina, I think it was the second drive, second play, 2nd and 7. The safety's over there trying to communicate with the boundary safety. He turns back around, and Isaiah Page has passed him, and about 75 yards later, he finds him in the end zone. And that's exactly what they'll do to you. You go watch last year's film. They do that so many times, but they don't have people set. And I think about my first game here. We played UCF, Josh Heupel, UCF. Several of these coaches come from the Josh Heupel tree, and we gave up a couple scores that day. Because we weren't set. Our worst game of the year last year defensively might have been UTSA. I thought we had a couple that were bad games, but UTSA, we gave us some scores because we didn't get set. So that's been the focus right now. We can't take one play, one tackle, one TFL, one third down from last week. We got to move on forward and get on to ODU and make sure that we're ready for that tempo, ready to get set, ready to get lined up, and go play our best football this year.
How do you think Zakai did translating what you were saying in his ear to his 10 guys out there?
Yeah, I think we struggled with that a little bit. It was kind of cutting out a little bit, so it probably didn't function as well as we had hoped. They said I got to do better, speak louder, talking the mic clearer. I don't know, maybe it's my accent. I don't know what it is, but we got to iron that out a little bit. I think some of it just we're going to move the location of the how it transmits and stuff like that. But I think it was helpful for them at times. I think it can be extremely helpful this week against a tempo team, getting them lined up a little faster, getting the call in a little quicker. So, we got to make sure that the static gets out of it and we get it in clear and we get it in fast so we get lined up and get ready to play.
When we talked to Zakai after the game the other night, he talked about when they get turnovers, they want to get to the box, they want to score.
Yeah.
And he gave credit to building the wall and blocking for Gavin on his interception return. How much does that go into practice? Building the wall and getting those blocks.
Yeah, I heard somebody mention it. The turnover. We do the interception return drill in practice, and we do those things. It's not just about getting the ball; it's about taking it to the house. And those guys, part of our side of the ball meetings, we watch all the turnovers we ever get in practice, in preseason camp in the spring. On Friday nights, we watch any turnovers we got the week before, or some NFL turnovers. We watch Julius Wood or J Max turnovers, and those guys are all about hey, get the ball and where we going to the crib or wherever it is to put it in the box, score the end zone is what I call it. They call it the crib. But that was huge. And what you see on that, you see a young man block the intended, one of the DBs block the intended, and then build a wall in the end zone. So it's not just about, hey, we got the ball, but it's about caring for your teammate, caring about our program and about our football team, and trying to go score with it. So they did a nice job of that.
Getting Gavin the pick six, KJ got some time, and Kingston looks like he's getting back closer. So how do you feel about that position as a whole?
Yeah, that room was kind of a big question mark going into game one, and I think those two guys showed that they've earned some snaps. KJ and Gavin, and played pretty well. I think they can play much better. Obviously game one you go into finding out exactly where you are, and we see they did some good things, but they got so many things they can build on. And I think Kingston's getting closer and closer to being back, and he brings back a lot of experience. So starting to feel a lot better about that room.
ODU quarterback has obviously got a run game to him as well. He had the long run for the touchdown.
Yeah.
What do you kind of see out of him, out of his skill set?
Yeah, Grant Wilson I think is a really strong quarterback that can beat you with the arm, makes all the right throws, does a really good job getting the ball to his receivers. He's kind of a point guard, John Stockton type, putting the ball out there, can throw the field out. Then certainly hurt you with the run game. He broke one for about 35, 40 yards against South Carolina last weekend. If you go back to the bowl game last year against Western Kentucky, broke one for about 70. So he kind of has decisive speed. When he hits it vertical, he can take off on you. So you got to be you got to account for him in the scramble game. If he scrambles around, you got to make sure we got some eyes to account for him. In the quarterback run game, he's a threat. And I think they had about 350 yards last week against the SEC team. I know it says like 308. I think that's after the sacks, but 150 on the ground, 200 in the air. Very, very balanced offense. Isaiah Page obviously took about the fourth play of the game to the house for about 70. Legit speed. I know he's good friends with Surratt and Ware, went to high school with him, some of the other guys, but they got some legit threats that we got to make sure we're paying attention and get lined up and know where they're at and do a good job of tackling and just getting 11 hats to the ball.
Overall, were you pretty happy with the amount of guys? I think it was like close to 30 that y'all got in the opener.
Yeah, I did think, as far as you were saying happy, I was like, coaches are never happy, right? Only happy for the fans, not our players. But no, I thought, we always talk about it takes everybody. And from the ones, twos, threes, whoever it was got in the game, I thought they kind of protected our culture, which is playing hard, playing with great effort, playing physicality, and trying to create turnovers. And I thought, overall, each young man that got in the ball game did a good job of that. Now, we got some things we got to build on. We got to make our biggest improvement from week one to week two, like every year. But I thought every guy was in there that understood, like, hey, the expectation. And you didn't see him just kind of, he looks out of place. So excited about that, and we'll continue to do that. We're going to have to do that again this week. We played 70 plays last week, and I think Norfolk State held the ball for 40 minutes. They took their time snapping the football. This week we might play 100 plays. Both teams are going to try to snap it as fast as they can. So we got to be prepared for that. We got to make sure not just 11 guys are ready to play, but 25 guys are ready to play.
And then with this offense too, is it tackling the space a key as well?
Oh yeah,
getting the ball out quick.
Yeah, last week where everything was between the tackles, in a tight space. It was easy to keep the cup, keep the leverage points between three tacklers. This week they're going to put it out wide, put it on the DBs, put it on the corners, put it on the inverts. So we got to tackle in space. You miss a tackle in space, and it can hurt you in a hurry. It can be 6 points in the end zone. Last week you miss a tackle in the box, it goes 2 or 3 more yards, somebody else gets it down. This week we got to make sure, one, we do a great job tackling on the perimeter, attacking those blocks, and then 2, retracing and getting out there to help them. And then the other thing, is we got to make sure we do a great job of the screen and goes, which we've been practicing hard all week. The double passes, the screen and goes, all those things that we've seen on film from them. So they do a great job with it, and we got to be ready for it.
Coach, how excited were the kids to break out the turnover chest on Saturday?
Yeah, so that was throw a curveball at them on Friday night. They, as a coach, that's not something you worry about or care about. Third down songs, treasure chest, the chain or whatever. But If it reinforces it, you know, and helps promote behaviors, more third down stops. I think they're 1 of 18, and you know, they had the turnover chain. So if that helps with that, then we're all about it. And anything to help us win football games, we're all about. Which those things will.
Anything else?